In 1 Corinthians 8 verse 1, we read, "Now concerning food offered to idols, we know that all of us possess knowledge. This knowledge puffs up, but love builds up." Paul's words, "knowledge puffs up, but love builds up," are often taken out of context. This verse is used to construe anti-intellectual sentiments and to drive a viewpoint that Christians should not seek knowledge. This viewpoint claims that because knowledge puffs up, love instead of knowledge should be sought. This is not what Paul meant. To gain a better understanding, the context in which Paul said these words needs to be examined and considered. In 1 Corinthians 8, Paul answers a question which the Corinthians raised in a letter to him. The main question was whether the Corinthian Christians may eat meat that was sacrificed to idols. This was important because local abattoirs and meat markets in Corinth were linked to pagan temples where meat was first sacrificed to idols and then sold at the marketplace or served at banquets. A truly challenging situation to the Corinthians in Corinth. The Corinthian Christians were divided in their response to this situation. In verses 4 to 6, it is evident that the first group, quite rightly, believed that there is only one God and that everything comes from Him. To this group, it did not matter where the meat they ate came from. In verses 7 to 8, we see that the second group was bothered by their conscience and felt defiled when they ate meat which had been sacrificed to pagan gods. Paul labeled the second group the weaker Christians, and the first group those who possessed knowledge. It is most likely a statement uttered by the first group of knowledgeable Christians that Paul quoted in 1 Corinthians 8 verses 1. Paul was therefore actually saying, "You are saying all of us possess knowledge." In his answer, Paul agrees with this group and approves of having knowledge that the eating of food sacrificed to idols does not have any inherently immoral or anti-Christian implications. Paul's answer, however, includes a but, when he brings love into the equation. For these grey areas of life, where there are no clear immoral matters at stake, Paul says that our knowledge, which rightly so leads us to freedom in Christ, must be tempered by love. Because this knowledge that leads to freedom is limited among our weaker brothers, faithful Christians should voluntarily restrain their actions, not to cause a weaker brother to stumble and sin against their conscience. Our Christian knowledge, even when this knowledge is an indication of maturity, is therefore inseparable from love. Paul used the context of eating meat that was sacrificed to idols to teach timeless principles about inconsequential matters, matters that are not inherently morally wrong. Firstly, what one Christian considers a safe practice might not be harmless to the conscience of a weaker brother or sister in Christ. Secondly, as believers, we do not have the right to demand freedom based on our knowledge alone. Knowledge used in this way makes us proud and puffed up. And finally, the foundation for true discernment and faithful Christian behavior always requires love as well as knowledge. The Corinthian problem was not the fact that they possessed knowledge, but that they used their knowledge without demonstrating brotherly love.